the reaction to the video today. Reaction video gonna be coming from It's Complicated channel. He street guy. He does street interviews. He has some very good questions dealing with relationships. So let's go.
What's the most famous love story ever told?
Oh my gosh, I guess, what would you say, Romeo and Juliet?
If the most famous love story has a man and a woman dying for each other, why are love stories usually framed where the man sacrifices himself for the woman?
Because he should. All men should sacrifice themselves.
What's the reason behind that? Where does that come from?
Why? Because men are destructive to society and women should reign.
I think it kind of goes back to biblical times where the man should be the head of the household, that should make the sacrifices, the women just follow and be submissive, and the man leads.
I think that's kind of just the way that society's gone.
All right, so I'm not going to respond to the first person. But what the lady said in terms of the roles, naturally, is the man, the woman, and the child. It doesn't mean that the woman doesn't hold some strong weight. It's just that in nature, there's the balance in the sense of she have her purpose, and in the balance of the man have his purpose as well. We don't need to conflict or confine or intertwine the two. It's just that the man takes a little bit more risk versus the woman would take the risk, or the man would tend to build the things or take the idea from the woman depending on what her ideas are, and he can use those ideas to build as well. That I would say about that. But it's always the man, the woman, and the children. The man maintain order, structure, discipline, and also as well as keep things in a logical space of mind. Women do have, orders, discipline, and logic, but the men tend to hold on to those things more strategically as well as more lawful than the woman does. A woman base things on emotions, men base things on logic.
Where men are the ones who are supposed to fall on the sword, man's hands are dirty so that women's can be clean.
Because that's how it should be. I mean, if you're a provider, then you should be willing to lay your life down for your woman.
I don't have a problem being in the role as a man and
I do want to respond to what she just said in terms of a man laying down for his woman. In these times, this is a little different. Women could carry guns now, so she could lie down for herself. Women can pay bills now. They can pay their own bills. They don't need a man in the house to maintain them. So she could, I would say, protect herself in some shape or form. I'm going with the adaptation of the evolution. We have to adapt because it's not going to change. No matter how much we ask for it or we try to promote it or try to request for it, we're evoluting to, how would you say, not a balanced system between men and women, but we're evoluting to a sense of self-awareness or I would say control, but within some confinement of natural strategic relationships order. The Bible do have some hierarchy as well. Even though I think the Bible is the destruction to relationships or the way how natural relationships have the necessities to structure in the nature's rules, right? The Bible kind of put woman in a lower scale versus what nature puts the woman in. So I'm not really support the Bible in that sense, but it does mimic the structure of what nature calls for. Based on what she said, I say, man, adapt to the new era, man. They want to take care of themselves, they take care of themselves. If you got a household with a woman, I think women should be able to hold the household down just as much as the man can hold the household down. That's the new era. It is what it is.
Sacrificing for a woman that cares about me, but really the way that society is these days, in America especially, it's like the women want everything from the man, and they're not willing to give anything in return. They want chivalry, but they're not willing to reciprocate with, being in their feminine energy. It's really tough in this day and age, especially in Las Vegas, trying to date. It's crazy.
Do you believe in 50-50 relationships or traditional roles, and why?
It depends. So me personally, I go for 50-50 because I love to work and I love to provide. But if a traditional, like where the man provides, works, then that's good for you.
How can relationships ever be 50-50 when the man...
See, I'm on her side, now I'm not going to push a 50-50 concept because it's never going to really be a 50-50. If it is a 50-50, it's more like a roommate process. Because 50-50 means that, not in the sense of a money concept, but 50-50 means that we're not really responsible for each other. We're responsible for our own selves and to maintain the household. And that can open the doors to, I do what I want and you do what you want. In relationships, it doesn't really fall under that bracket right there. It's more of like, you can do what you want, but what you do does affect me. In a 50-50, you're just a roommate. You could go and come as you please, do what you want. It doesn't, we could still do our thing, but you're not obligated, But when you do when it's more like a 60-40, or we kind of just swing the situation, who's got more, who got less, or who can do what, I kind of more go with that level where we're just going to figure it out. If you pay more, I pay less. It could be a 60, 30, 40, however it goes. But I don't see a 50-50 situation. Because the way how female thinks, if she's holding up her side of the bargain, she can kind of move a certain type of way. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, that's part of the new era type relationships. Like I said, for instance, women starting to have their own, in terms of equality, their version of equality, when you say like that. They make money. They think having money is some kind of a leadership, it's like a general focus point of a leadership of a man, but it's not. It's just one obstacle. And the obstacle is more of a protection level, really and truly. But that's the way they think.
Is expected to sacrifice himself for the woman and serve her with chivalry?
That's a great question. It can be reciprocated.
It can go both ways. Like the man can sacrifice while the woman is also sacrificed. So 50-50 can be the man sacrifices himself with chivalry, respect, and all that. And the woman is at home cooking, cleaning, taking care of the household duties. That in itself is 50-50.
Why will men sacrifice their personal happiness for their family, while women will sacrifice their family for their personal happiness?
Ooh, that's a good one. So you can't just paint a picture of it because it's different for every woman. I would say women.
It's okay. So even though she's saying, the only pushback I have with this whole new evolution thing, women have to also understand that, when it comes to chivalry and stuff, they're gonna have to play the role. They're gonna have to pursue men. They're gonna have to pay for the first date. They're gonna have to, basically put the man in a position where he feel like, if you want to give it up on the first night, like the role's gonna have to turn. I'm not saying, to me, that doesn't make a man a simp or make him weak if the girl is pursuing him and she's trying to put her level where it is what it is. But the new era is now a lot of these women are coming off kind of masculine, or a representation of masculine, I would say. So they're gonna have to kind of play that role. Now the thing is, I know damn well she know money does not make a whole man, right? So what's she gonna do when certain things doesn't, like lifting up heavy objects, making strong decisions, quick decision, think fast. When it comes to the protection realm of it, like how's she gonna deal with those type of things? You know what I'm saying? What about when she's going through her emotional feelings and her mood swings and all that type of stuff? Men tend to keep those things in check and stay in a level-headed mindset. So there's a lot of things that she's not really thinking about that separate the man from the woman.
Are expected to, literally give up everything. So it's okay, I would say, for a woman to choose herself for once, when in history, she's always chose her family first.
I'd say that's just the way that society has etched it out at this point. Feminism has kind of corrupted the whole thought of sacrificing for your family. Feminists are kind of taking over, and it seems like they're mostly out here for themselves.
If a father of 2 kids sees a random woman attacked in public, should he intervene and protect that random woman?
Ooh, I would say yes.
Well, if men are supposed to be protectors, why shouldn't they protect their own family first? Why should that man risk his life, potentially leaving his own kids without a father?
You got me there. It goes back to biblical. I feel like if he stands firm on what he believes in and helps, I think his family will be safe.
Should all men be held to biblical standards when not all men follow the Bible?
My belief, yes. But honestly, you can.
Okay, so on this level right here, the first question when he asked about, in terms of men sacrificing himself when he have his own family, but he still sacrifice himself to protect another, other people. That's a very tight response, but I would say you got to put your family first. But if the man is skilled, I mean, most men, if they're skilled enough or they think they're skilled enough, they probably will try. But naturally, men should think about their family first. Now, especially in these times, I would strongly say, yeah, she should have, like, if a woman have children, she should have her own man, period. Like, that's, I don't think another man should have to risk his life. I mean, if there's a man there and he's struggling, yeah, maybe a man might go and try to help him. But other than that, she should have her own man. You know what I mean? That was a smart question right there. Yeah, I don't recommend any man to go out and put their life on the line knowing that they have a family at home as well, to take care of. That's cause then guess what now? If he do save the woman and her children, he's now gone. Now guess what? His family, his kids and wife or woman is now without a man. Just like how this woman choose to be single or whatever her situation was left her to where she are. Not saying it could be a good reason or bad reason, but I'm just saying she's still a single woman with children. The biblical point now, yes, and everybody follow the Bible concept. I mean, naturally, there's no concept for the Bible. Naturally, we're supposed to obey and abide by the rules of the earth, So it's like you don't need the Bible to live a natural human lifestyle, But since a lot of us have this weak mindset to not have like a self-understanding and to basically accept the fact that we are own creators here on this planet versus what's outside. What's outside is outside. You know what I'm saying? But these people, they need something to motivate themselves. But you could be self-absorbed, you could be self-centered on the earth and understand you yourself is creator. You yourself on this earth, you make the decisions. So no, you don't. Yes, men who have religion concepts and versus the men who don't. For the men who believe in it, yes, they should follow the book and find women that have that type of concept. But one thing I would say, women don't really believe in the Bible like that. They just use it as a way to cope with their insecurities and their sinning behavior. But I'm saying men probably do it too. But yeah, men don't need it, Let's keep it going.
And be held to a standard that you don't understand or you don't have knowledge about.
So I would say a perfect example of this is like the man who was out with his girlfriend and she got jumped and he was defending his girlfriend and stuff like that. I believe that if you see danger, you should be willing to be the one to step in. Like even me personally, if I saw that, I would be willing to step in and protect those people.
Now, continuing on that point, why should men be sent to war to fight someone else's battle?
Women are sent to war to fight someone else's battle as well.
But aren't men required to register for selective service, but not women?
That is true. Yes, they are. But that's just, again, if you want to go back to traditional roles, I mean, who set that system up? Men did.
They set this system up. Men set up the system to be empowered, to be in dirty positions, to separate gender roles. And I think that they should allow the fluidity.
Look, man, I'm saying set up women too. Let it have to sign up for selective service just the same, because they want to be equal, right? That's part of the equality right there. Sign them up. Let them join. There's nothing. There's really nothing much to say about that. Just sign them up. That's it.
Everybody entering in every role and every possibility that men think that they have to be part of.
Should men be willing to go to war and die for a country that seems to hate them?
Are we talking about all men or black men?
If men are more valued in society, why would they be the first ones sacrificed in war?
Probably because there'd be no chance of winning that war if we sent women to it.
Because they're the ones that set up that value in the society.
I'm not gonna go too much far into this because I'm gonna leave the link in the down below so you guys can check out the whole video. I just wanted to run a little bit and promote my it's complicated. He do ask some good questions when it comes to relationship goals and relationship standards in the, well, you could say the new world today. In the war perspective, I mean, war is war, man. We're gonna have war. I don't think, war is war. Sometimes it helps keep the population down. Sad to say, but it does. I do think we could live peacefully without war. I would say we just have to monitor the population. When it comes to birth rate. Not talking about having abortions, but limiting the amount of children we should have. I do think we are evolving too fast in terms of technology. I think we should slow down. That's how I feel about that, when it comes to the whole war situation. But the sacrificing part is the unfairness between, as the point of the conversation really was the unfairness between that men got to sacrifice their life, or men have to force to go to war to die, to protect, the country, which is in turn protecting their women, and they don't really get nothing much out of it, because once they come home, most cases, the women don't be there, or they move on, or they might come up with mental abilities and the women don't be there to support them. It's just so many different things that have effects when men come home from wars or fighting for their country, and there's so much negative things that they got to come home to. So sometimes it doesn't really worth it, and sometimes the wars that we go to, it doesn't really make sense. It's just spineless wars sometimes. But women should start up for selective service just the same, equally the amount. So with that said, I'm going to post the link in the chat so you guys can check out the whole video. And that's it for my reenaction video for this time. Don't forget to like, and please like. Give me a like. And you guys make sure you subscribe. Let me know what you think. I appreciate it.